BOHViral. Learn, eat, smile, repeat. Okay, so I've some shrimp with some scallops. And from here, because I'm still trying to figure out my phone and what all it does, I'm going to flip the camera around so I can show you what I've done so far. Because of course I started working and then I didn't even think about it, and now I have thought about it, so I'm going to bring you along. Okay, let's jump right into it. I decided to create a broth to go with my seafood. So there on the stove, what you actually see is the shells from that shrimp, along with some carrots and onions that I sauteed in butter, finished with water, and put on a low simmer for about 30 minutes. That there is actually a little too high of a simmer because you don't want your liquid to evaporate. You want it to be a nice slow roll. So I actually turned that down. From there, we're going to start our scallops. As I said in the beginning, I end up doing scallops and shrimp. I'm going to be serving 2 scallops. Considering I have a second protein, 2 scallops per person is great. Soon you'll see that I'll be cleaning those scallops off. And to clean a scallop means to take the feet off of them. Once I get those scallops set up, you'll see me taking the feet off. The feet of the scallop, or the foot of the scallop, is a little more translucent, and it has a little bit more of a different texture, and you can see it hanging right there off of that scallop. I can take it off with one hand, pop it in the trash. We're going to finish our scallops off with just some salt and pepper. I usually do my seasoning for my scallops very basic because it's typically served with something. In this case, it'll be served with that broth, shrimp. Sometimes I may make a puree, like a sweet pea puree, a beet puree, or a carrot puree. So we're just going to douse that with a little salt and pepper and put them over to the side and season up our shrimp. Now our shrimp is going to have a little more on it. For the shrimp, I did salt, pepper, seasoning salt, garlic, and anything that I have in the pantry that I want to play around with. Maybe smoked paprika or sweet paprika, some type of herb, lemon, anything like that. It's very versatile for your shrimp. Once I have my scallops and my shrimp seasoned, I'm going to get started on my side dish. I decided to make a cauliflower with leeks and corn. Make sure to season your seafood generously, but of course don't over season. Remember, you can always add, you can't subtract. Let's jump into that cauliflower dish. I got my butter going. I added a little bit of olive oil with it. We're going to throw in some leeks. These are actually frozen leeks. I get them from Trader Joe's. When fresh is available, I try to get fresh, but I find these leeks at Trader Joe's to be really good. And the key is to put them in a hot pan and use butter. That richness reinstitutes them very well. We're going to give that a quick toss before we add in our cauliflower. And remember guys, high heat. You don't want it to be burning, but you need it high enough that you don't steam your food. We've tossed in our cauliflower. We're going to give that a quick shake. I usually don't add any more butter or fat until the end. If you give your vegetables a little bit of time, you'll be able to see that they create their own liquid. Once I've seasoned the cauliflower and I put some Italian thyme in there, and it was my first time using it, but I really liked how it folded in with the sweetness of the onions and also the cauliflower. And then that corn has a little sweetness to it as well. Tossed in my corn, gave it a couple of shakes, taste, season as needed. Right there, I'm checking on my broth. Everything looks good. Once I was done with my cauliflower, very simple, put it over to the side. I got some more butter going, and I got my scallops in the pan. I'm going to give it a quick check. Usually if they're ready, they'll pull straight from the pan. Those don't have quite the amount of color that I like, so I'm going to keep them down, let them go for about 2 more minutes. Here you can see now my broth has had enough time to season. That is liquid gold. That's your base, and then you finish it off with a little bit of cold butter. We're going to give these another check. It looks like I have enough color now. Yep, beautiful. We're going to flip those, cook them probably another 3-4 minutes on the other side. Now right here you're going to see me scoop some of the oil back onto the scallops. This gives your seafood a nice crust, and it also helps it to cook evenly. Once those scallops are done, we're going to pull them off, and we can go straight into our shrimp. Cook that shrimp off, and we're good to go. Now, this particular video was not to try to do a recipe. I just happened to, it was very last minute. I just happened to have my camera with me. I decided to give you all a look into how I put together a meal when I'm with my clients. And then you can take these basic methods and apply them to all the things we'll be doing.